Hello and welcome to another edition of Die Rollin. You are really up in my space here. You are invading my space here, like a space invader.
Well, that is because I am thinking about the game.
I'm glad. I really didn't know where you were going with that.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to declare some kind of... Anyway, yes, we are playing Zombicide Invader. Is this the game you're thinking of?
That's exactly the game I'm thinking of.
Amazing.
It's a new Kickstarter from the so successful Cool Mini or Not publisher, which is basically a rehash of all their other Zombicide games, built for Cool Mini or Not to steal your money so that they can keep profiteering over what are effectively mediocre games.
Okay, well that's your own personal belief. Personally, I quite like Zombicide. I've got all versions of it so far. And yeah, if you're not familiar with Zombicide, you're basically survivors in a setting. This setting is a futuristic, setting, and you are fighting Xenos in this case. I don't think they actually technically are zombies, but they're still cool.
Why would they be? Why would they be at this point when you can just create lots of miniatures and make lots of money?
That's it. So basically, you're trying to survive in a zombie apocalypse setting, and this one is in space.
Now, I'm for one for giving every game a chance, so I'm going to, ignore the fact that it's probably likely to be another Call of Duty style rehash of the original Zombicide game as per the others. But let's give it to the table and let's give it another go. Okay, so we're trying something slightly different with this video. We're going to slightly talk over the game board and give you our impressions. So obviously it's a typical Cool Mini or Not player mat. It's got your experience track down at the bottom. It's got your character card here. You have weapon slots. One of the nice things about these weapon slots is if you have a weapon that has something, you can poke something into the side there. And obviously you've got your ability trackers as you go through.
That isn't the weapon you'd use with it, but basically you could slide that in there.
So that's quite a cool feature. I can't remember it being in previous Zombicide games, so that's quite new. That's quite good.
You've also got the two slots at the top. Which are for things you place in your body, like a flashlight or armor.
Oxygen. Or oxygen. Because one of the key features of this game is that not only is it an inside setting, but it's also an outside setting. And to be able to get to the outside, you have to have O2 canisters, which you get from entering this room and picking one up. And then you then have to place that oxygen canister into here. Now, that adds a real element to the game. So first impressions are, apart from the fact it doesn't line up, is that actually there's a huge amount of detail in there, right?
Yeah, it seems a lot more strategic than the previous ones, mainly because you've got two types of survivors now. You have soldiers, who are the tough guys, and then you have civilians. And the civilians can search anywhere, but the soldiers can only search in the red rooms. The soldiers are a bit tougher, the civilians a bit weaker. You've got these kind of mold areas where zombies can spawn from, and you've got some cool weaponry on the board. So there's a auto turret and a peacekeeper bot there, which you can use.
Cool. One of my favourite parts about this game is how cool these miniatures are. And this is the one thing that Cool Mini or Not actually excel at, is creating these fantastic miniatures. They are basically designed for painting. And you look at the character detail there, even without painting, you could effectively dip those and shade dip those, and you'd end up with some fantastic looking characters with minimal effort. And moving back, look at this. This is your sort of your aliens or zombies, and they look fantastic. This is the big attraction when you buy a Cool Mini or Not game, is that you are effectively paying for the quality. Overall, especially around the models, it's very rare that they produce models that are sort of substandard, isn't it? Yeah,
they're always really, really good miniatures.
And finally, it's just, if I zoom out and pan out, that is an immersive experience when you're in that world. You are immersed in it. You've got your mechs and you've got your aliens and you've got your characters. You're going to be immersed. The one thing that takes away from me is the fact that these things just don't line up. One thing that's probably true about a lot of us board gamers is our OCD is pretty high, and that is going to get on my nerves very quickly. But anyway, let's get into a bit of gameplay. Let's see what it's like. But overall, first impressions are pretty good, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So immediately as we set up the game, my first massive annoyance with it is the fact that even though these are pretty much straight on the line, you can see is that the actual these pipelines don't add up. Now, if you're aesthetically going to keep those in the game, that's fine, but at least make them line up. They're all off. There is not one. In fact, I think this might be the only ones in this that actually line up. These are just so out. Yeah, not great at all. In terms of the detailing on the map, these rooms are fantastic. They do, they put the detail in. It just absolutely strikes me when you think about Cool Mini or not, and they haven't gone, like, they must have play tested this enough times. How on earth do they not line up is just beyond me. So the mission, Adam, is to what?
So our survivors have been split up, and we have to get them both groups to this area here where the sentry gun is. Problem we've got here is there's going to be a bunch of Xenos attacking us. Also, we need to get oxygen before we can get out. So both teams have to do this to, and I slightly set this up wrong, because this team over here can't simply go to this oxygen area and come out here. They have to travel all the way down here, and this team has to go all the way down there, and then they've got to somehow meet in the middle without any enemy units on there.
Cool. So the most challenging part of this is going to be having to, because of the spawn points, which are at various points in the game, obviously try and do that at speed before the horde, and I say the horde, builds up. Okay, well, we'll give you updates as we go through the game, but let's go. So we are currently the second round into the game. So you have activated the
sentry gun
to take out these two guys. So you need the fours.
May the fours be with me.
Nice. So that is one critical here, and two fours. So
2 experience.
That gives you 2 experience, and on your track we're now into the yellows.
Now, because I've got yellow, I also have one more action after this, so I'm going to spend that shooting with this guy. So it's 5 dice, and I'm attacking the spoiler abomination. I need to concentrate fire, which means I need to get at least 3 5s on here.
So what's this concentrate fire do?
So normally in Zombicide, you would have to have a weapon which had 3 damage, and this has only got 1, to be able to kill an abomination character. But in Zombicide Invader, you can basically concentrate your fire, which basically means you roll, sorry, wrong card. You roll this many dice, and you have to get that result, and you have to get at least 3 times. Every time you get a successful result, you get 1 damage. So I need 3 damage to get that, so I need 3 5s to do this. Which I don't do. I got a 6 and I got a 5. And the rest of the misses, so nothing happens.
That's quite useful.
Cool, so that's the end of Mitsuki's turn, and now it is Jared. Now Jared is over here. He has some hunters chasing him, but he doesn't have a ranged weapon, so you can't really do much about this. As a soldier, he can only search in the security area, so he's going to back up one, and he's going to search and hopefully find a gun. And he found a sniper rifle, which is perfect, so I'm going to change this around with something in here. So going to put the prototype gun in his backpack, and then he's going to roll 1 dice, and he needs 3 or more to kill one of those hunters. 5, so he kills that guy.
And gains an experience.
And 1 experience. And it also creates, create some noise, please. Well, if you press some noise in this area here. The zombies always go towards a noisy.
Okay, we are halfway through the game now, and we have hit the orange track, so it's suddenly ramped up. So as you can see, we've just spawned a whole bunch of hell across the game. We actually haven't yet. We've only literally just got out of the air dock, ready to face this little horde here. Our bot has got some work to do. These guys look like they're in some particular trouble, facing down that, looking down that hallway. and looking for this guy, he literally is in trouble. It'd be interesting, obviously, once you're outside, you can only use weapons that have the energy symbol on it here. So where I have things like a flamethrower, which would basically deal with that horde within seconds, I can't use that. So I am basically at the point where I've got to take pot shots or go for my heavy cutter. So outside has its own challenges, even though it seems pretty cool. So update, I used my light machine gun, rolled that 4 times and dealt with that horde with relative ease. So,
Simples.
Left a nice clear path for Will to deal with the up and coming miner. This is the third round where we said, this is the last round, and basically we're at the point where we've got no zombies on the board again. So let's see if this is the end game round.
Alright, we have 8 tanks appearing up here.
That's okay.
Only 8 tanks.
This is the one in question now. Spoiler Abomination.
That's okay.
And finally, we mould a hunter on every spawn. Every mould even.
Can be okay.
This is achievable. So we just finished playing Zombicide Invader.
Okay, so that was the offering from Cool Mini or Not, part of their Zombicide franchise, and some different rule components, and hopefully throughout our gameplay we explain some of them. Obviously we don't do the rules, so if you want to go find rule breakdown, there are loads of the channels.
Yeah,
that do
you can
that.
find rulebook online.
You can. So I'm gonna deal with the major issue of this straight off the bat.
I wonder what that could be.
Yeah, so if you follow me on Instagram, Jamie Die Rollin, then you will know that I took homage with the fact that it does not line up.
Yeah, the first thing I noticed when I got the game out was that when I played the tutorial on my own, the tiles don't line up. Some of them are just slightly off, and being pernickety, I agree on that.
It's not even being pernickety.
It's just like when you're spending a certain amount of money on a game, because this isn't going to set you back 30 quid, it's up £60 upwards really. This is like, you expect them to get things like this right, like the artwork to line up. It's not a small company, it's a big company.
And it isn't like they've invested millions and millions of pounds in the gameplay. They've invested the money in the artwork, and when you buy a Cool Mini or Not game, you are buying into the artwork, the detail, the immersive experience. And if the pipe work doesn't line up, then it kind of takes away from it. And for me, that's a massive faux pas. There are only 8 tiles or 9 tiles.
9 tiles, yeah.
In the box.
Double-sided.
Yeah, double-sided. Is it really that hard? How much playtesting have they done? How much feedback have they had? Has someone really missed that, or did they just get lazy? Either way, for me, straight off the bat, that's a massive fail. Like, so when you come to play the game, before you've even got it, there's an air of disappointment.
Okay. Another bad thing? Got another bad thing you can...
Yeah, I've got one more bad thing.
What's that?
Is that it's set indoors and it's set outdoors, and in order to get outdoors you need air, and that's great. So, and to be fair, we played the easy mission, so that does make a big difference. But I didn't feel that the balance of being inside and outside was as good. So my character was quite strong inside, but by the time that character had maxed up to the point that it could do anything, we were outside and we couldn't really do very much. So all the cool stuff that he had, we never got to play with. So I found that quite sad.
Okay, fair enough. So my bad points about the game. First of all, I agree with you on the artwork thing, but the dice that come with this, they're just very basic dice. And when you spend a certain amount of money on a game, because you can get some, I spent some extra money to get some extra dice for this, which are Zombicide Invader dice. just throw them in. Just put them in with the rest of it, because honestly, they don't look great. They're just very basic and they just feel cheap. Whereas the dice that you can get extra for this, they're really good. Another bad thing. Just trying to think. I think I just agree with you on the artwork. It's a very minor kind of thing on that, and it can be quite difficult, like you say, with trying to balance your character out. Good side of things, though. I'll kick this off. So I think there's a lot more. I played all the Zombicides. This is a lot more strategic than the other ones. I really like the new options you have in there. With you have to get oxygen to go outside. You can only search in certain rooms. The survivor's slightly different. You've got this concentrated fire mechanic, which in other games it was. Wolfsburg, for instance, one of the Zombicides, it's very tricky when an abomination appears if you haven't got the right stuff to deal with it. Whereas this one, regardless of what you have, you normally can get out of the situation, which lends into the theme of these guys being like kind of survivors and military types. So that's really good. And I quite like what they've done with the theme of this one as well. There's no other zombie space games that I'm aware of, really. This feels a bit like Dead Space, the board game, without the customization option. But yeah, I think they've done a good job with this.
I felt that they in the franchise that they needed to do something, and throw a space game out there. In terms of the theming is fantastic. I love a space game. I think if I have a board game genre, it is space.
Space or Mafia, right?
Space or Mafia.
Space Gangsters. This guy's right for it.
Write me a game. So I felt that was great. My other massive, fantastic highlight to that game was the turrets and the robots, because that took away having to be sometimes in the combat to be part of the combat.
Mm-hmm.
So where you had weaker characters who would probably be back at the base, they were able to do something and contribute a lot more, which really added another dynamic to it, and it's another strategy there that helped us in the game. So those are my two big things.
Yeah.
I always base sometimes whether or not I want that game on my shelf. I never wanted to own a Zombicide game because I've always felt them a bit bland and lacking in repeatability in play.
Mm-hmm.
But this, I would buy.
Okay, there we go. The seal of approval there from Jamie.
Yeah,
I think this is a great theme. I think you're right with some of the stuff you say about other Zombicides. The first edition, for instance, is quite bland in my opinion as well. The fantasy side, not as bland. You've got some things in there. Green Horde's really good, but yeah. Overall, I think Zombicide Invader is a great game.
Yeah.
And whenever we review something, we take a component from the game and then we use that to rate this. And what we've chosen are the dice in here. So the dice go from kind of crosshair to like a head, like an alien head there. We're saying the head is a 6 and the crosshair is a miss, right? So it's a hit or a miss, right? Everything else in between is
meh.
Yeah. So where are you going, Jamie?
I am going to go for a 4.
4, okay.
A 4.
Why a 4?
I think the fact that the piping doesn't line up detracts from it enough for that to be a big issue for me. And you know what? You have to have a really fantastic game for me to give it a top mark.
Yeah.
So it's a good game, but it's not that fantastic. So it's already out of the 5 out of 6. Knock off the artwork, that puts it in 4. That's respectable.
It's a respectable 4, right?
But it's not.
It's above average.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 5 because I personally really enjoy Zombicide games. They do a really good zombie horde kind of mechanic in it. I think they always do a really good job. I love the minis. I love the components. The artwork, not so great this time with the lining up issue. That's a small issue in my mind. Overall, great game. So we are Die Rollin.
Make sure you catch us on Instagram, YouTube and Facebook. And if you want to keep up, please make sure you follow our various social media channels. And if you want to see those YouTube videos when they're uploaded in real time, make sure you ring that bell. Thanks.